This is Classic FM.
Well, I'm delighted to say that one of the world's leading trumpet players, Tine Helseth, is in London. She's popped in to Classic FM. She's found time in her extremely busy schedule, as you'll hear in a moment, to come and have a little chat with me. And maybe a little bit more than that, which is what these are doing. But I'll explain about that in a moment. But first of all, Tine, welcome and thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
You've just flown in from Oslo this morning.
I did this morning, yeah.
A little bit of a break because I know how busy you've been. Tell me where you've been.
Yeah, well, it's quite a busy summer. I've been lucky enough to be in Russia and in Germany. I've been, so just I don't even remember all the places I've been, but it's been a lot of traveling. But now I had some days at home before I'm here and going on to Cardiff and stuff. So it's
You've
a
been
busy.
actually, I can put you right. St. Petersburg.
Yes.
Munich,
and I also been to Moscow and Yekaterinburg. I did several
right,
places in Russia,
yes.
and Munich is.
And now here in the UK, where are you playing?
I'm playing in Cardiff, which is really exciting. So and then I'm just going on, and then I have a holiday later.
Good for you. But you're back here actually in the autumn, aren't you?
I am. I'm back, and I'm in the autumn. I'm playing again in Cardiff. I'm going back there, and I'm playing in Birmingham and London, and so that's nice.
Now, before we move on to talk about these pieces of brass we're sitting here with, when I was learning this, which was a very long time ago, I mean actually 40 or more years ago, female brass players were not only unheard of, they were actually forbidden. I remember as a young musician, girls were not allowed to take up brass instruments. How's it changed?
Well, it has definitely changed. I know that because we have a very strong wind and brass band tradition, like you have the brass band tradition here in the UK. We have the same in Norway. And I do know that, many years ago, they were only for boys and only for the men. But nowadays, we're really playing. I mean, when I started to play, it was really normal. I mean, I started because my mum plays the trumpet.
Am I right in thinking she started you on the piano?
Yes, well, I started on the piano when I was 5, but then I started with the trumpet when I was 7, and it was much more fun.
7.
Yeah.
You took to it immediately, did you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have pictures of myself at home, like from when I was not even a year, I mean, with the trumpet on the side. It was kind of just I've always wanted to play it.
And were you encouraged, or did people say to you, that's not for girls?
No, I was definitely encouraged. I mean, no one said anything about it. I didn't really understand that it was so strange until I started traveling abroad. So maybe not until I was 15, 16, 17, I understood that, actually in other countries it's not that normal, because in Scandinavia it is. It's quite normal. I mean, at least to play it, but I mean, of course, as a professional career, it still takes a while for, the positions in the orchestras and stuff.
But it's so changed now. I mean, my starring performance with the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic a few weeks ago, I'll rephrase that, when they let me sit in with them a few weeks ago.
I'm sure you did great.
The bass trombonist was a woman, the bass trombonist, and that's a big embouchure, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I have my brass ensemble with 10 girls, and I mean, it's the tuba, it's the bass trombone, it's a horn, it's trumpets. I mean, it's not really. I remember we were in China playing with this group, and of course they were amazed because it's not normal for them to see this, girls playing the brass instruments, and they were, I got questions like, isn't it more difficult, but also isn't it dangerous? And, all these things that we make up in our heads of just thinking, isn't this, but it isn't at all. And they really saw that, you can play it if you're a girl, if you're a boy, if you're, whatever, you can play it.
And it's wonderful for young people, actually of both sexes, to look up to people like you, young, successful, virtuosic. I think it's amazing.
Well, thank you. But I mean, but it's something that, I actually try to be a bit, think about, and when I actually have a responsibility of being a role model for someone if they like to play, especially young girls, of course, but others, just to see that boys and girls, and no matter if you're big and muscular, or if you're small and tiny, you can play,
And that it always is essentially fun, as we are about to prove, because I have to tell you that this was Tina's idea, not mine. She heard that I used to play this trombone.
Yeah.
You suggested that we duet together. Whatever took hold of you, Tina?
No, I thought that would be just great. Have you been looking forward?
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward.
I hope you've been practicing.
I've been practicing a lot.
I'm joking. I have really been practicing.
No, but it's great. I saw this, that you were playing with the Liverpool Phil again, but why did you want to take it up again?
It was their idea. I was up at Christmas
Yeah.
with them because I present their Christmas concerts. In fact, I presented you
Yes, I remember.
a couple of years
Yes,
ago now,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Lovely. And they're a great bunch. And they were making an album with Diana Damrau,
Yeah.
the German soprano, on the afternoon of one of the Christmas concerts. And I sat in and watched and listened to the recording. And afterwards, we were all in the hospitality room with mince pies, mulled wine, and I was standing with the brass boys.
Yeah.
And I just happened to drop to them. I used to play one of those, and they said, "What?" And I said, "Well, I used to play the trombone." They said, "Right, you are going to come." And then no, I said, "You don't understand. I haven't touched it for a very..." They said, "You are coming." And I did. And honestly, Tina,
amazing.
sitting in an orchestra, okay, there were a lot of amateurs in it, and they were all better than me, but just sitting with professionals and playing, it was one of the most uplifting experiences of my life.
It's quite amazing though to be in the middle of an orchestra.
The sound is
It's really great, yeah. It's really just something that everyone should, at
Absolutely.
some point, just,
Yeah.
you know.
And it is for fun. And as we were discussing before we started this interview, in an orchestra, if you're not that good, you can disguise what you're doing. But here, just playing with Tina is about as exposed as it could possibly be. So brace yourselves.